10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Growing bolder, what's next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Shafer, and yes, this is Growing Boulders. What's next? We made it to another Friday. How about this? We're at the Growing Boulder worldwide headquarters today, coming to you to talk about, some more great, inspiring, and fun things. I hope you were watching last week when Marc Middleton talked to this amazing 96-year-old swimmer, master swimmer, still swims competitively. And part of his prehabilitation is what's helped him stay healthy and get through the challenges he's had. And before that, Laura Savini was here the week before with a very heartfelt conversation with a New York City firefighter that was very revealing and very interesting to watch. And the week before that, we had this great magician on all the way from Japan who did some online magic and talked about how he was reinventing himself in the pandemic and in the lockdown. So the point is, this is a program that reaches out to all different kinds of people. It's a place where you can come to hear stories of ordinary people living extraordinary lives, which is kind of like the litmus test for what makes for a good interview and a good story. And the reason we do that is because at Growing Boulder, we're always trying to inspire you to live your best life, live your most fulfilling life. And really the motto there, the thing to keep in mind is you be you. It's people always say, well, what do I have to do to be growing bolder? And there are things that you can do, like be as healthy as you can, so you have as many options as you can. Try to be positive, because positivity makes a difference in your attitude. But really, when it comes right down to it, it's all about you being you that makes such a difference. And that's really the key to growing bolder. Now, we like to start this off with a video. And I was thinking about how little I know about really what's happening in the internet as far as who are the internet celebrities today. You kind of hear about them, but I'm not a TikTok guy. I don't watch those things, but it's important to know, right? If for no other reason than when the grandkids say, hey, have you heard of this? I go, well, absolutely I have. So I was looking around today, and this You Be You theme kind of works there, because these are people that they didn't have a roadmap. Nobody came before and started doing things on the internet and getting followers. So I went and did a dive to try to find out who the most interesting people, who these big internet celebrities are. And once you filter through the dancers and the singers and people like that, there are some really talented people. And I want to introduce you to one now. His name is Zach King, and he's basically the king of TikTok. Look, this is what he does, videos like this.
Yo, that's so cool. How are you doing that?
Got a Nimbus 2000.
Oh, I see.
Here.
Wait, is that my longboard?
Longboardium Leviosa!
Zach, my longboard! Come on, man, get back here! Dude, not cool.
He makes these little videos like that. He calls himself, he's like a video sleight of hand, a digital sleight of hand guy. Watch this. So, hey, look, this is something that all of us will enjoy. I know it's mostly young people that are watching. There's Terry Crews did this one. Watch this.
Elbows out. Let's make this happen. Let's go. It's gotta hurt. New year, new you. 2020 is yours, man. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that kind of looks like me working out.
Hey, get out of here.
But look, here's the point. This guy, there was nobody that he followed. He's not copying anybody. He came up with an idea, right? And he is being himself. And he's doing it to an unbelievable degree. You can't believe everything you read on the internet, but they say he makes between $25,000 and $40,000 a video. This is what this guy does for a living. So the point is, you be you. What is it that you like? You can leave a comment now in the comment section right here online. Why don't you write something down? If you could do anything you wanted to do, if you could do anything at all, what would it be? Put a word, put a sentence. Is it travel? Is it do videos? Is it take vacations? Is it work out? What is it you'd like to do? And we'll share that with each other. Patricia is here in the house. She's here every week. It's great to see you, Patricia. And Jana Overstreet is here as well. It's great to get all of us together to learn from each other, because that's kind of what Growing Bolder is. It's evidence that when you can be you, great things can happen. All of us have something inside of us to share, to contribute, that others will see and be inspired by, even when we don't realize it ourselves. So, Mike, come on in here. Mike Nannis, who is the guy that punches all the buttons and makes everything happen. You know, I was thinking about this, Mike, as I was looking down that list of the people that are watching us right now. There was a name there that kind of struck me, and I don't know if it's possible to do this. You're the techno wizard. Can you punch? Do you know who Jill Heinerth is? If you see her name, can you punch her up on the screen? Can you think we can even talk to her?
I think I can. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can add her to the stream. There we go.
Look at that. Jill, hi.
Hello. Good morning.
I don't know if you know who this is, but if you hang out for the next few minutes, you are never going to forget her. She's one of the most unique people I've ever even heard of. And you would not think of it, right, Jill? When people see you on the street or bump into you at the mall, they have no idea how amazing your life is or how interesting a person you are. Does that bother you in any way?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. We all have our own secret lives, right?
Okay, speaking of your secret life, I don't even want to introduce you and then show the video. Let's go right to the video, Mike, and let people see what Jill does, because literally nobody does what Jill does. And you do this for a living. Okay, so it looks very innocent right now. Jill, take us through. You're just putting on a dive suit, although it looks kind of heavy duty.
Yeah, this is my life support equipment. I am an underwater explorer with a specialty in cave diving. Now, for most people, that's so completely abstract, you know, cave diving. Like they think, is that like where you jump off of a cliff into the ocean? But no, this is actually swimming through the veins of Mother Earth, swimming through water-filled conduits beneath your feet where you might not even realize that I am. So I'm in your drinking water, in the very sustenance of the planet, exploring places that nobody has ever been before. So more people have walked on the moon than have been to the places that I have explored inside our planet. And it's an extraordinary privilege.
Jill, this is mind-blowing. Explain, is this a job? Is this a hobby? You know, what do you do it for, and what keeps you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, my business card simply says explorer on it. So I have a kind of an interesting hybrid career of writing and underwater cinematography and photography in these very challenging places. But all of these different activities that I do are all in an effort to keep me in the environment that I love so much, and that's underwater in these cave environments. So my background was actually I had an ad agency as my first career in life, but I soon realized that I wanted to take those things that I loved doing, the creative aspects of my job, and I wanted to take it underwater and make my own career if I had to.
Wait, just a minute. This is huge what you just said. Did I hear you right? You worked at an ad agency and you said, like all of us do when we daydream, wouldn't it be cool if I was out exploring or diving and you quit your job to do that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I loved what I was doing. I still am extremely involved in the creative process, but I knew I was doing it in the wrong place. Like inside four walls of a studio were just completely claustrophobic to me. And I was teaching scuba nights and weekends, and I just dreamed of a way to combine those things to, take the thing that was my hobby and turn it into my, occupation. But I love what I do so much now that it just doesn't even feel like work when you find a way to bring those passions together.
But see, Jill, it's cool now that you can do it and you're good at it and you're successful at it. But when you shared this idea with all your friends, they go, "You've got to be kidding me. No, you can't quit a real job like that and go
Absolutely.
on." That's what holds us back, right? We all think, man, wouldn't it be cool to be a guitar player? Or wouldn't it be cool to just write books? But we stop and we go, no, be sensible. And you had to have had those conversations with yourself.
Oh, I made the most money in my life in my early 20s, not in diving, right? But I recognized that I was, withering, internally. Like I needed to be doing what I loved. And I'm not going to, lie to you. This wasn't like an instant where I jumped into cold water and said, this is it. It was a process. I mean, I sold everything I owned. I sold my business. I packed a suitcase and moved to the tropics to start working towards that goal. And today, I'm a 30-year overnight success, right?
Well, I also know, Jill, that you're sitting in front of a brick wall there, but I know you've got some magic tools there. Show off a little bit for us.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, just to give you a better sense of the environment that I work in, it's dark. And for most people thinking about underwater caves, all they can think about is the complete blackness of this environment. And that is terrifying. The unknown is terrifying to people. But for me, these places are museums of natural history that contain information about Earth's past climate. They are portals to the underworld for civilizations that have left behind remains in the doorways of caves. And these are also places where we find the bones of extinct animals that tell us so many remarkable things about this planet. And even today, there are unique animals swimming through these spaces that can teach us about evolution and survival. But for me as an artist, being able to document these places in my photography and by my film work, it's just an amazing privilege. It can be like swimming through a crystal chandelier. It is so beautiful. And I think it's undeniable how remarkable these places are. And I think sharing the beauty is one thing, but also, sharing important science and being that communicator about collaborations that I have with scientists and engineers is a great privilege. And I think you can agree it's pretty beautiful.
Jill, you talked about how more people have been on the surface of the moon than who do what you do. I'm guessing you believe we should do it more. Talk about why we need to know what's underneath these glaciers and icebergs and why we need to swim into these volcanic pathways.
Well, it's interesting. I'm a child of the 60s that grew up watching the Apollo missions, like probably a lot of your listeners, and that totally inspired me to be an explorer. But people said to me, the age of exploration is over. We've been to the moon. We've been to the top of the mountains. We've been to the ocean's deepest trenches. What do you think you can do, little girl? And, I guess I looked inward to inner space. And it even took me a while to understand how important it was to communicate about these places that carry our drinking water resources. It is incredibly important for people to understand that what they do on the surface of the earth can affect the very water that they drink. And so, communicating about these things was just very important to me, and a chance to, I guess, do something that feels like it's important for humanity to give people, a role model about taking an unusual, chance at a new career, and also to explore. I mean, we're all explorers today. We are all in the darkness and isolation of this COVID crisis. And there are a lot of things that terrify us. I mean, I know my work terrifies people who see me squeezing through these tiny spaces, but your life and your, current economic situation may be no less terrifying and equally as valid to accept that those fears are dominating your life right now. But there's a lot that we can do to overcome these fears, whether you're a cave diver or whether you're just trying to figure out, how you're going to put food on the table. Fear is a driving force in our lives.
Jill, that was amazing. I mean, that was tremendous. It was inspiring. You're a fascinating person. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about along those lines is, man, what a role model, not just for people getting over their fears, but women in particular. You're doing something that men aren't doing, and you're doing it better, and you're able to do it to the best of your ability. So there's the gender thing. And you also mentioned 30 years of doing this, and you were with an ad agency before. you've got to, do you talk about your age?
Sure, why not?
You really are fearless.
So many people want to turn back the clock and go back. I don't. I love the wisdom that every year that passes brings to me. It's wonderful. I would never turn back the clock. I'm happy in my 50s.
So how does being in your 50s impact what you do? Do you say, well, gee, I really shouldn't be doing this anymore, or I'm getting too old, or is this the perfect time to be you?
Yeah, this is a really great time. I mean, my father is 87 years old, and he rode his bicycle 40 kilometers yesterday, like 25 miles or more on his bicycle on his own yesterday. So I guess I've got some good genetics there. But the wonderful thing that comes with age is the sort of ability to use your voice. I mean, it was hard for me finding my way as a young woman in a very male-dominated space, and today, I don't really care what people think. I have more wisdom. So when a project is pitched, I can look at it carefully, do my risk assessment, and say, yeah, this looks like a good fit, or no, maybe I'm not up to it. But I feel just way more just confident and comfortable with my voice.
You're, in a way, you're different than the astronauts because, growing up, we always had them to aspire to. You didn't grow up going, man, one day I really want to dive underneath glaciers and swim places that nobody's ever gone. So
Right.
How tough is it to be the one who breaks the barriers, who smashes the stereotypes, who boldly goes where no one has gone before?
I've had to hit a lot of glass walls and glass ceilings, and I've gotten cut in the process. And then someone's come back and replaced the glass again, and I have to hit it harder next time because they've built a better ceiling. And I just accept that now. It was frustrating when I was younger, but I just kind of accept it now. I just do the best I can. I don't really have time to be a woman, on a project. I just have time to be a hard-working diver, and so I just forge onward with confidence that I can achieve what I want to achieve in life. I can do anything that I set my mind to. I truly believe that.
And that's so inspiring. And I'm glad you touched on that because, we sit here now and we're all smiles and we're looking at your pictures going, ooh and ah. But there have probably been some serious challenges that you face and some very difficult times that, that really help us to understand that, it isn't a straight line and you do have to really follow your heart.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've had serious life-threatening issues underwater. Over the course of my career, I have a list of more than 100 colleagues that have lost their lives doing the very thing that I do every day. And so that is sobering. Risk assessment has to be part of my life every single day. But beyond the risk assessment and being reasonable about accepting fear. I mean, I'm scared all the time, and that's okay. It means I care about the outcome. Anybody that's scared, it just means that you care about the results or the future, so that's a healthy thing. It's normal. I accept that. But somebody once said to me, if failure didn't matter, what would you do? So if you didn't have to worry about what people thought or about failing, what would you do with your life? And everything, the bad, the difficult, the challenging things that have happened in my life that I would never want to repeat again, I don't look at those as failures. I don't look at those as setbacks. I look at those as discovery, learning. Everything bad has a lesson that's attached with us that informs us how to do something better next time. And we just can't worry about what happened because we can't change that. What we should concentrate on is what we can do with those experiences to move forward to a better, more positive outcome.
Holy cow. Folks, are you getting this? Is she cool or what? Is Jill like, she's got to be one of the best guests we've ever had, isn't she? Really? And if only, Jill, you could put all these thoughts into some kind of book. Really be. What
What a good idea.
You mean you've done that?
I have, yes. My book, Into the Planet, My Life as a Cave Diver. It's about all my adventures and explorations around the world, but really the book is about facing fear and how we can do that to a positive result, no matter whether you ever want to be a cave diver or not.
This is fantastic. You've done this already 15 times, but I'm going to ask you one. Well, give us the Jill Heinerth takeaway. What do you hope, above everything else, that we all learn from what you've seen, what you've been through?
To embrace fear. I mean, if you don't embrace fear, you're going to spend your entire life running from it. I mean, we've got to be willing to skin our knees a little bit and put a bandage on and get back out there, because it's sometimes terrifying and overwhelming to look at the things that we face in life, whether it's, the COVID virus and isolation, or climate change, or anything that's more immediate in your life, eviction, whatever is going on. Like it can be terrifying, and you may not have the big answers to solve that. So what you can do is just take a deep breath into the very depths of your soul, take the emotional out of it. It'll slow the heart rate and slow down your breathing, but set the emotions aside for a moment and just be pragmatic and take whatever small step you can to move forward, but keep the momentum going. Move forward one step at a time, and before you know it, you will have done something unthinkable and new and wonderful for yourself, or maybe even something that's new, completely new for humanity. So don't worry about not having the big answers. Just take one step at a time these days.
Wow, how fantastic! That is you've inspired me so much. I will never go cave diving ever after seeing the video and those photos, because I get claustrophobic sitting in the car. And it's such a great analogy for life. And thank you for making that connection. And thank you for taking the time to share what you do. It's so important in so many levels, of course, ecologically and environmentally, but also your individual story is just fantastic. And your poor parents.
Oh yeah.
You're every parent's nightmare as a child. But it's just amazing. Your whole story of starting off kind of in the corporate world, and then deciding what you really wanted to do for a living, and having the nerves of steel to actually put your heart where your passion was. And that's just so admirable. And, Growing Bolder is all about people like you to different degrees. Sometimes you don't notice it in people, but they're inspiring in the most interesting ways. So I want to implore everyone out there, you hear Jill's story and you start maybe thinking, there's somebody I know in my life, or maybe it's you yourself who feel like you have a message, or we can learn from you. We'd love to hear about you. Let's go ahead and put up how you can contact us. It's all about ordinary people living extraordinary lives, celebrating everyone out there, making a difference in the community, inspiring others by chasing their dreams, living lives of passion and purpose, smashing the negative stereotypes of age. So if there's someone who inspires you, just go to growingboulder.com/extraordinary and let us know about them. We'd love to hear their stories, maybe tell everybody else about them, and it's always fine to suggest yourself. So how about Jill Heinerth, folks? The book, the website, the videos, everything. She is fantastic. And again, somebody you might walk past at the supermarket or wherever you are and never realize the amazing story and inspiration inside this person. And we're all like that. We all have great stories to tell. So that brings us to our meme of the week, and it fits right in. It's the perfect meme. It comes from Coco Chanel, and she says that beauty begins the moment that you decide to be yourself. And that's exactly what we're talking about. You talk to somebody like Jill, and that's all you see is the curiosity, the passion, the excitement in life. And that's what draws us to each other. That's the spark that we all share. And it's so elusive. You can't find that in a makeup jar or in a vitamin jar or supplements. It's a combination of attitude and curiosity and heart and caring for people and caring for the planet and caring for each other. And That's really what we want at Growing Bolder to pass along to everybody, to inspire people to do that. I'm looking back here earlier on the page where we asked people to say what it was when you be you, what does that mean? And somebody wrote that they want to write books. They'd like to be an author. And somebody said they would just like to have time to read books. Patricia says she wants to create songs. And really, life isn't a spectator sport. Music's not a spectator sport. We get used to watching these big time music stars. It doesn't have to be that way. Sing in the shower, sing loud, even if it bothers everybody else in the house. That's what life is about. Play the ukulele, somebody writes. Something simple like that. Please think of what you want to do. Why not do it? Maybe start today. And Debbie Bissett says that Jill is very gutsy. And yeah, it's not, she's gutsy for what she does, but she's also gutsy for having the nerve to do it. And she's the star of her own movie. She's writing her own script. She's following her own life. We want to thank Linda Vestal for joining us today. All of you who are with us. Noreen Albright, Gina Talfa is here with us today. All these names, I mean, these are people, we're all like-minded people here. We all want to get the most we can out of life, to live a fulfilling life, to make a difference. Jill's making a difference through her passion. And that's just fantastic. Doug Kippen is here from Ontario. And I saw one of these comments back here. Patricia's in Texas. There's somebody here in Singapore. Dana Overstreet from Illinois, Shirley Undahl from Maryland. This is fantastic. This is the Growing Bolder message. It just spreads because it touches us all. It means something different to all of us, but the message is so powerful. Bring more people into it. Let's share this warmth. Let's bask in this inspiration. Debbie Bissett, travel photography. Everybody's got something, folks. We don't always take time to think about ourselves. We think about work. We have our to-do list. What about our families? What about ourselves? We all owe it to each other to take some time and think about it. And basically, that's what's on my mind this week. So you be you as much as you can starting today, because that's Growing Bolder. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Growing Bolder's What's Next, and we'll see you right back here very, very soon. Bye.
Growing bolder, what's next?